Yo, what's going on YouTube? It is your boy Touch Tone the Sound God. I'm back at it with another video. So in this one, I am going to be going over a new set of monitors that I currently purchased from Barefoot and Output. I got them from Output, but they have partnered with Barefoot on this design, and they're called the Frontier speakers or the Frontier monitors, or that line. And these monitors came in, I didn't know what to expect. So this is going to be a review about these monitors. Also in this review, I'm going to be directly comparing them to the monitors that I had before, which is the Yamaha HS8s. It's going to be a direct comparison against that because I know what the Yamahas sound like because I've had those for about 13 years now, 14 years. It's been a while. So I've done tons of mixes on them. I've created thousands upon thousands of beats on them. They definitely got use out of them. So I know what they sound like. I know what the staging sounds like and everything. So I'm going to use that as kind of a reference, right? As a source, a direct source to compare these Frontiers to. And I feel like a lot of people that I see online and a lot of producers that I know have the Yamahas anyways. So I think this is going to be a great comparison. So we'll get into that and hopefully you guys enjoy. But before we get into that, intro, let's go. All right, welcome back, man. It is me once again. I am your tech producer. A couple things I want to go over that I will be like kind of structuring this review against. I'm going to be directly comparing these against the Yamahas and see how that turns out, see where they stack up to the competition. So one thing I want to go over is price point. One thing I'm going to go over is build quality, the size, the power, the sound stage of it. How does it sound? And most importantly, is it worth it? Are they worth it? So we'll be doing that. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So I just wanted to keep it a buck with you guys. If y'all see me looking down, it's because I got my notes right here because there's so much to go over. So I just want to let y'all know that. I don't know, y'all probably wouldn't even notice if I would have told you, but whatever. I do have some talking points on this and about the Frontiers. So my initial impressions were like, where's the tweeter, right? They do not have a tweeter on them, which is a different thing. The design on these guys are pretty, I don't want to say new, but I've never seen it before. So they have what is called aligned coaxial drivers, which basically means all the sound reaches you at one time. You don't have a delayed response for the tweeter and the mids, or if there's even lows on them. So the design of them kind of took me off guard a little bit, but I like them. I like the way they look. They look modern, they look unique, they look smooth. Now, a direct size comparison with these versus the Yamaha HS8s. Now, once again, these are 6.5 inch monitors as far as the cone, and the Yamaha HS8 is obviously 8s. And you can see here, I'm going to put a graphic or comparison on the screen. I shot some B-roll. By the way, this is my first time doing some like B-roll, so bear with me if it doesn't quite line up to what I'm saying. All right, so the size comparison to me is night and day. The Yamahas themselves are much bigger than the Barefoots or the Outputs. So right off the bat, I thought was like, oh man, these are gonna have a tiny sound. I'm gonna have to go back to the Yamahas or AB these two. So before I hooked the Frontiers up, I definitely listened to the Yamahas. Put on a couple songs that I mixed back and forth, a couple songs that I knew back and forth, so I can tell the difference of when I hooked them up. So that was kind of like in my ears here. But the size comparison, Yamahas are much bigger, and they are a much heavier speaker also. Not to say that the Frontiers are a light speaker. You can tell that they are built well, which brings me to my next point. Their build quality is absolutely fantastic. These guys are a super solid monitor. They do have a walnut base with like a matte gray finish on them, and they look very, very professional. Can be quite a fingerprint magnet though. I left some fingerprints on there just by touching it. I tried to wipe them off as best as I can, but hey, everything comes to light under the light. Oh my God. So let's take a look at the back of the monitors here. And as you see on the barefoots, I'm gonna keep calling these barefoots because that's what they are to me, and I'll explain why here in a second. But the barefoots designs on the back, they have a combo input, and that's a balanced TRS cable or an XLR cable that they just goes right in. You don't have to do any kind of tweaking or anything. Also, you do have your gain knob on these, and it does go into the plus territory and the minus territory if you do need it to. And you also got their, I guess, patented eco mode. I don't know if it's patented. It's the first one that I've seen on a monitor. I'm pretty sure there are others, but their eco mode is pretty cool. I took some video of it and to show you how it works. So when the monitors themselves are idle for a period of time, I want to say about 10 minutes, they go into like this power saving mode. And you can see with the lights themselves. So I took a video of it to show you. So it's not instantaneously. I know they say that on the website, like you touch it and the sound comes back almost instantly. That's kind of not true. I would say it takes maybe a second to half a second to come back on, and you can tell because it kind of sounds muffled, and then the sound comes out, and then the lights get brighter. So I think that's a really cool feature. I don't find anything wrong with it. The barefoots themselves were also tuned by Thomas Barefoot, and he actually tuned these to be more of a flat response with like low distortion, and I can definitely attest for that. They definitely do have a flatter response, which is more true to your sound. The Yamahas themselves were more bright, I would say, and a little bit more bass heavy. These, on as far as sound, the initial sound that I got, they sounded equal in the highs, lows, and mids. Speaking of lows, man, these things actually, they produce some pretty good lows. You do not need a sub. I actually got a sub, the Yamaha HS8, and I was thinking about unplugging it from them because I kind of don't need it. These sound really, really good without a subwoofer. I'm super impressed. And for the aligned coax technology that they use, the tweeter sounds, I can't even tell that there's not a tweeter on these things. Like, they sound really good. I'm super impressed by that. That was going to be, I'm not going to lie, that was a concern of mine, and they definitely hit every concern out of the park. These sound terrific. So something else that was different on these monitors is that they have a forward-facing port for your bass to come out, and I haven't recalled in recent memory of me owning any kind of monitors or working on any kind of monitors that have done that. And so that was going to be another thing for me to listen to. And once again, they sound terrific. I can't complain with that. Great job on the design. The monitors themselves are a 200 watt combined biamped architecture, which I don't know if I've pushed, but I have turned it up and I have pushed these things, and they handled whatever I threw at them handedly. And I will say that again, they handled these handedly, not to be redundant. Price tag though comes in at a whopping $1,400, $1,399. They're a little pricey. They're definitely more pricier than the Yamahas. I think you can get the two HS8s and the sub for under what you can get these for. But are they better than the Yamahas? And we'll talk about that in a second. Stay tuned. Now, I'm kind of a fanboy of Output, as I do have the platform, I have the sidecar, I have the stands for the speakers themselves, which brings me to another point. These stands are made for these monitors, and they were housing my Yamahas prior to this, but the stands that these come on, or I'm sorry, the stands that you can get with these are fantastic. They're very, very sturdy. They're built well. There's no shaking. They don't feel cheap, and they look good with it. It's a very minimalist design, but very effective also. If you guys want to see a review about the whole output ecosystem, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you could tell who the figure is in between my monitors here, between the Yamahas and the Frontier, let me know in the comments below. I'm trying to see who my audience is. I'm trying to see something real quick. So, the big question is the sound. How do they sound? Well, they sound amazing. I was really, really blown away by the way they kind of jumped out of the monitors into my face. There's a couple of things I wanted to say, so I'm gonna look at my handy dandy notes here. So the sweet spot is much wider than my Yamahas. The Yamahas, my sweet spot, I don't know why, was kind of targeted, and I had to find it every time to hear everything correctly in the mix. These guys, I don't know what they did, barefoot platform, but the sweet spot is much bigger, and it's easier to kind of get into a flow of things and get into the zone and be more confident about your mixing and what you're hearing, just because that sweet spot is so big. Secondly, the sound stage on these guys are fantastic. I can definitely monitor what I'm doing better and hear better what I'm also mixing. So when I say soundstage, I mean moving like front to back in a mix instead of left to right. The left and right on the sound stages are really, really good, very responsive, but moving front to back, when you play with the attack and release on the compressor, you can move sounds front to back in your mix. These sound really, really good. Definitely not hard to monitor. So that was another thing that I was pleasantly pleased with. Also, the overall volume of these things. So I don't know how to quite to explain this to you. I'm gonna try my best. So the sound that came out of these monitors were very tight sounding, and very focused sounding. With my Yamahas, not so much. They sounded good, but not great. They sounded tight, but not like super tight, right? I hope you know what I'm talking about. So the Yamahas were definitely looser with the sound, and these guys, the Frontiers, are just you get what you hear type of thing. I do want to say a tidbit though. I do have my Sonar Works for the reference mic, and I did do the setup with that, and I felt that it took these monitors to a completely different level than before. There are some trouble spots in this room, which that kind of helps you identify, and once I put that software on there, I mean, geez, man, they sound fantastic. So I guess the big question is are they worth it? And I think you know by now, these are definitely worth it. Every penny, honestly. They just sound terrific. I did not expect them to sound this good because they were smaller compared to the Yamahas. Even though the Yamaha has more switches and things on the back, I feel like the Barefoots still outperform them by a wide margin. They don't need that. They were built to be flat by Thomas Barefoot himself. So that is speaking volumes. And we all know Barefoot is kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to studio monitors and their sound. They take that very seriously, and they definitely took that seriously in this design. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think these are worth it? Are you going to get a pair? Is it something that has piqued your interest? Let's start a discussion. Like I said, I'll try to answer all questions that I can. But yeah, man, these are some good monitors. Great monitors, actually. I'm definitely going to be getting some higher end stuff. But as for right now, these are going to be doing all my mixes, producing on these. I'm going to be doing everything. So yeah, I'm satisfied. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me in this video. If you found value in this video, definitely leave a thumbs up, like the video, and also consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews, I do walkthroughs, I do tutorials, tips, and tricks. Also, guys, continue to go to my Spotify here We are doing great. We are doing numbers, and that's all thanks to you guys for sharing my music and continue to streaming it. Stream it on all platforms, please. I am just so grateful. Also, we just hit over 1,000 subscribers on this channel, which I'm super excited about. That makes me feel so good. It shows that you guys like the content, and you will definitely be getting more coming your way. Also, I'm gonna be doing a giveaway. I was gonna do it at 1,000, but that kind of crept up on me real fast. So I'm gonna do maybe a 1,500 subscriber. I think that's gonna be more reasonable to allow me to get something together for you guys. So I just appreciate it, man. That's gonna be it for me. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.